So this is a challenging time for us as well, as this is the first time we are making a release where everyone is working from home.
Wow. How's that going?
Oh, the team has rallied really well, and they were actually able to take some late requests for features as well, and the engineering team has done an amazing job.
Wow.
ColdFusion Alive, the podcast for the ColdFusion community. Discover practices, tools, techniques, tips and trends for modern ColdFusion development. Brought to you by TerraTech, the ColdFusion experts. Develop, secure, optimize. Here is your host, the founder of TerraTech, Michaela Light.
Welcome back to the podcast. I'm here with Kishore Balakrishnan from Adobe, all the way from India, and we're going to be talking about CF Summit 2020, and there's lots of new things happening this year, so very excited about that. But before we go on, if you don't know who he is the Principal Product Marketing Manager at Adobe for ColdFusion, and not as well as taking care of marketing and organizing CF Summit, he also does some ColdFusion sales help as well. And just in case you think he's just some kind of marketing genius alone, he actually did a degree in computer applications. So he actually understands all this programming stuff as well. So welcome, Kishore.
Thanks, Michaela. It's always great to be back talking to you.
Yes, and good to hear from you. So what exactly is CF Summit 2020? Because I'm assuming it's not going to be happening in Las Vegas this year.
Unfortunately, no. We would not be having it in Las Vegas this year. Next year, definitely not. Unfortunately, the situation is not right for having physical events this year. So we are going to make it online, and we are very excited to that this is going to be one of the biggest conferences for CF this year.
Wow! When you say the biggest, how big do you think it will be?
Well, when we did the developer week instead of CF Summit East, that normally happens in DC, we were expecting around 2,000 registrations, but we had close to around 2,800 registrations for that event.
Well, that's 10 times bigger than the physical event last year, right? Because I was there.
Exactly.
I think you had 280 people at the physical event. You had 10 times as many.
So
were they just from the East Coast US area, or did people from around the world attend that one?
People from around the world were there for that event as well. And that's exactly the reason why I'm putting a 10x on our from our physical numbers to this event. So,
well, wait a minute. That would mean 4,000 or 5,000 attendees.
Exactly. And I think we are trending correctly towards that number, because right now we have 1,600 registrations already for the event, and we are still like 2 months.
You've hardly announced it.
Exactly. We are still 2 months away from the event. That's why I'm so confident about that number.
Wow! So this will be the biggest CF Summit ever.
Oh yes, but I think you still hold the number for the physical event.
Well, yeah, we did have over 900 at CF United many years ago. So, but I'm sure you will beat that with this event. Well, you already have. You already beat it. So this is good. I'm very excited. The more people that can learn about what's new in ColdFusion, learn about what makes it alive and modern these days, the better. I think the tide has turned on that whole argument. So I think CF Summit can definitely help in that regard. And,
yes.
I was there last year and I learned so much from it. So I'm looking forward to this year's one. How many years has CF Summit been running?
This is the 8th year that CF Summit is running.
8th year. Wow. An auspicious number. So, so really anyone anywhere in the world can attend this. Is that true? Or do you have to be in the United States?
No, anyone from anywhere in the world could attend. And since this is an online event, what we are planning on doing is having a couple of sessions obviously most of the sessions will be in the US time zones, but we are also planning on having a couple of sessions in the European time zone, as well as a couple of sessions in the Indian time zone as well to specifically talk to those audiences.
So if you're in Europe, because
because
a lot of Europeans feel a bit neglected, as do people in Asia Pacific. So this year they won't, they will have some special live sessions. But what about if, they miss a session? Will they be able to watch it later or?
Yes. So this time the event is going to be hosted on another platform. And
what's the platform?
I'm not at liberty to say the name of the platform, but we're already signed up with the vendor. You will see it when we launch the summit. And the good part about it is the platform provides the ability to make an online webinar immediately into an on-demand webinar the moment the online event gets over. Let's say if the webinar is from 9 to 10 p.m., if you log in at 10:01 or 10:02, the on-demand thing is going to be there for you.
Oh, so there's no waiting like previous years. We had to wait for weeks for recordings to come out. They'll be there immediately.
Exactly. They'll be there immediately.
I love that. Wow, that is great. So just so we're clear here, there's no barrier to anyone coming, because I'm just going to guess the cost is free, zero, nada, nothing. Is that true?
That's exactly true.
All right. And of course, because it's online, you don't have to fly to the United States. You don't have to go through all that visa excitement that people who aren't Americans go through. Don't have to get a hotel room. As fun as that hotel was, the Mirage last year, it's quite an expense to attend a big conference. So,
I know, but there are some positive points on a field event as well, but online has its own advantages.
Absolutely, it does. So one of the things I've seen, I went to the online Into the Box ColdFusion event that happened, and it's easy to get a bit tired of going to online meetings. So how are you addressing that?
So what we are planning on doing is we are not planning on packing your day with sessions. We know how busy you guys, all the developers are. So we might probably end up having like 4 sessions in your time zone at any given day. And it's not going to be back to back, so that, it gets you tired. It gives you enough time to go back, check your mails, and then log in after some time. Or if you wish, you could, we also currently have close to around 8 different sponsors whom you could talk to.
Who are can you tell us who the sponsors are so far? Is that secret?
These are the usual suspects. You have Integral, you have Fondio, you have
we'll add a list.
Others will be there.
Yeah.
Sorry? Yeah,
we'll add a list in the show notes. Yeah.
So you have all your regular sponsors who will be there, and you could talk to them as well. And if you want to have a video chat with the rep, you could do that. And there's a audience hangout as well. So if you want, you could talk to any of the other attendees as well.
So I had a quick peek online. I see Media 3, Mura, Coalesce, Host Tech, Integral, of course, you mentioned, Foundio, Autis Solutions. So very good. So there'll be like a sponsor area where you can learn about them and chat with them if you have questions.
Exactly.
And then the audience area, you'll be able to chat with other attendees. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. If you know who the other attendees are, and if they sort of make their information public, you could chat with them as well.
Oh, cool. So that's like the hallway track, as they say.
Exactly.
Where you bump into other attendees or speakers or Adobe staff. Will the Adobe staff be attending this year? Because last year you had like 20 people all the way from the development office in India.
Don't worry. This time the entire Adobe team is going to be there for you guys.
Because I remember last year, it was really interesting to talk to them about what they were working on. And, if you had a problem in ColdFusion, they often either could answer it or, redirect you to someone who could answer it. And they were doing demos of all the cool new stuff, in the performance monitor and the API manager and, in ColdFusion language and all kinds of stuff. So are they going to do similar things or?
Yes. So we would be there in one of the booths as well.
Okay.
So you could drop by and ask any question that you want about ColdFusion, or if you have any issues, you're also we are more than happy to help you out.
Can we give opinions on what we think should be in ColdFusion 2020? Or?
Oh, you're more than welcome. But by that time, ColdFusion 2020 would be out. The next version of ColdFusion would be out. So.
Oh. Too late for that, but we can make suggestions to ColdFusion 2022.
Exactly.
Yes, because probably you're starting the process to decide what to put that in as soon as this one goes to bed.
Yes, that will be of great help if you want any feature that you want to get in. That will be a right time. Rakshit is going to be there, and the engineering team is going to be there. So you get the floor when you drop in by our booth.
All right. Well, that pays for the cost of admission in itself, I would say, which is, of course, the cost is actually free. So it's like you're giving money to the attendees, because if they learn all this knowledge and they're able to get their tech problems solved or contribute to what goes in the next version, it sounds to me they come out winners.
Yeah. And also, you could always watch out for some of the prizes, cool prizes, which the sponsors might also end up giving out. And also, we have a raffle, as in a field event in Vegas. We always have a raffle for each of the session. So you might get a chance to win that as well.
Wow. So you might get some free software out of it as well. Very
free
cool.
Goodies as well.
And goodies.
Free software, some free goodies. Okay. We give some pretty good giveaways, right?
You do. So you mentioned speakers. How many speakers are you thinking will be there this year? Because I looked on the website, I only saw about 15. But you have more coming, or?
We have more coming. So we already have submissions from close to around 60 people, and we have already selected 35 of them. It's just that we still haven't gotten the confirmation of the time from the speakers. Once we get that, we'll put them as well.
Well, I'm looking at some of the speakers you've already announced. I mean, there's some really famous names here. Great knowledge of ColdFusion. Charlie Earhart, who's been doing ColdFusion forever, I think. Matthew Clemente, Alicia Dvorak from Adobe, Dave Ferguson, Pete Freitag from Foundio, Brian Klass, George Murphy, of course, Rakshit Naresh, who's works with the ColdFusion team. Brian Sappi, who's an expert on the API manager. Dan Skaggs, Mark Takaka, if I'm saying his name right, and Dan Wilson of Learn CF in a Week fame. So lots of cool speakers there. But I remember last year it was like a star-studded cast of speakers, like anyone in the ColdFusion community who speaks or has a book or has a blog or podcast. They were.
So this year also you will see a lot of speakers whom we are known for throughout the years, who are leaders in their own right at the event, and this is our chance of bringing all the community leaders together, and hopefully you guys get a lot to take away from those sessions as well.
So it looks like the site needs updating because it says 28 speakers on the site. So you're going to have a tweak there.
We will. So the thing is, we are waiting for the confirmation from the speakers on their available time slot to put up the agenda as well. So
then it says on the site it says 500 attendees. So that I think that's missing a zero.
That's 5,000. I know.
Yes.
We had given so the feedback has already been given to the folks who maintain the website, so they will be updating it by the time you go live with the podcast. All
right. Well, excellent. And I'll give out the URL again at the end, but in case anyone's curious, it's cfsummit.adobeevents.com, and we'll put that in the show notes on the TerraTech site. So what do you have any, can you share some of the topics that will be covered? I'm guessing there'll be some stuff on CF 2020.
Yes, so definitely there will be more sessions on the upcoming release. So we have Brian Klaas who will be talking about the CF Lambda, which we are coming out with, the serverless, how you could run ColdFusion on a serverless environment.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah.
That's how Pete Freitag runs his Fixinator. He does that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry about the fireworks going on in the background. They love letting fireworks off here.
At least someone has something to celebrate about. I hope that's a celebratory firework.
Oh, yeah, they're celebratory. It's like, we're glad to be alive, and we think it's 7:30 in the morning. You should be awake yourself. Sometimes they're from 4 a.m. if it's like a special Saints Day.
Okay.
In Peru, they do. Well, they're not parading around the streets right now, but they used to do that. They get one of those statues, and that weighs like a ton, and parade it around, let fireworks off. It's quite a whatever.
Okay, maybe next time I should come or drop by Peru. Yes,
you come drop by. It's just on the way to Las Vegas. You just kind of turn left as you're coming into Los Angeles. So,
okay.
And I hope
to the sessions. I know we got sidetracked.
Yes,
I think Rakshit will be doing his language enhancements talk for the next release of ColdFusion, and I think we also have Dan who will be talking about, if I remember correctly, about modernizing ColdFusion applications with APIs. I think he'll be talking about his usage of the API management platform. And let me get this right. I think Charlie, we are still talking to Charlie about what topic he should be talking about, because Charlie, he could talk about any of the topics. So right now we have slated him for 2 sessions. I hope he agrees to do both. And I think Pete is going to be talking about the security of the newer version. And Mike Collins will be talking about the document workflows. And Dave Ferguson, I think his topic is something around SQL. If I remember whether it's SQL or something else. Sorry, I don't have the sheet with me, but that's what we were thinking about. And Matt Clemente, I think, is going to talk about command box.
Ooh, command box. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So you have all these great speakers who are going to be talking about various topics, which we think is going to definitely be very interesting for our customers.
Excellent. And I assume either Brian Zappi or Alicia Dvorak will be talking about the API manager and how that's changed.
I think Alicia is going to be talking about the PDF functionalities.
The what Brian functionalities?
Yeah.
What's
PDF.
Alicia going to... EDF?
Yeah.
What's EDF?
PDF.
Oh, PDF. Sorry.
PDF.
Sorry. I've been doing all this EDI stuff, and I have on my brain. So, wow.
I think Brian Zappi is going to be talking about the API management platform as well.
All right.
I think they're going to talk about their usage of performance API management platform, and how what are the issues they faced and how they overcome those.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure by the time this episode comes out, you'll have more details on the website and probably a few more speakers popping up there. Excited to see that.
This podcast is brought to you by TerraTech, the ColdFusion experts. Develop, secure, optimize. Get detailed show notes on today's episode and your free CF Alive Modern ColdFusion Guide at terratech.com. That is TERATECH.com. And now back to today's show.
And what about the new features? You mentioned Rakshit will be talking about what's new in ColdFusion 2020, but aren't there a whole bunch of new features in 2020?
Yes. So our engineering team will also have 3 or 4 sessions where they'll be talking about the new features of the next release. So I think we have a lot of great speakers from engineering, like Satyam Mishra and I think Mukesh, a couple of other speakers as well, who will be talking about. These are the folks who have actually worked on those features. And if you need a sort of lowdown into how exactly the feature works, these are the guys whom you should be talking to.
Yeah, I remember when I went to CF Summit India in Bangalore last year, the whole, the Adobe engineering team were talking about a lot of insider stuff and, what you could do with the features and stuff I didn't realize, because you read the documentation, it doesn't always tell you exactly clever things you can do with it. So it was great to see them there talking about it.
I know. Our documentation team has some work to do because the engineering teams keeps churning out features and the documentation. I think I feel sorry for the documentation guys.
Yeah, well, it's like they're in competition. They try to keep up, and then they document it, and and then they write new features.
But Saurabh is a great guy. Saurabh was responsible for the documentation, but he's always on top of things.
Very cool. So what about the future of ColdFusion? ColdFusion 2022, I know is already on the drawing board. Will there be any discussion about that? Or?
So in the summit, we are also planning on having 2 panel discussions. One is about the modernization. The second one will be, I think, about the future of ColdFusion. And I think that will be a place where Rakshit might reveal what his plan for the next release is going to be. And since it's a panel discussion, it will be a great time for you guys, for our customers also to come on board and hear from the panel as well as give their own ideas.
In these talks, will you be able to give questions to the speakers like you can? So you'll be able to ask questions or say when something isn't clear, and they'll be able to respond.
You could definitely do that.
Okay.
This is all live. These are all live seminars that is happening. Live events that are happening. It's not like anything is pre-recorded.
Right. So anything could happen. They could have their child come up behind them in the interview, like that happens on the BBC.
Definitely. Definitely. You could see someone running behind them, so anything could happen.
Anything is possible at a home office. So I think we all understand that now.
We're all developers, right? So we are all used to that.
So
there's always something happening.
There's always something happening. And, they might have an interesting tech question or, about the topic or... will they be showing code at all during this? I know that's happened in past CF Summits.
Yes, they would be. They would be.
And then will there be a way for people to get a copy of the code they demo, or how will that work?
So that will always be the same case. The copy of the code, I think, what we are doing is we are asking the speakers to put it in their notes itself so that they upload it on GitHub or something like that. So it's immediately available for the guys who will be seeing the on-demand webinars.
Oh, great. Because that, I really like it when I learn something cool and then I can play with the code myself and try it out. So do you know if that'll be available the same day they give the talk, or it be published later?
We are asking our speakers, and our speakers are always pretty prompt in doing that.
Excellent. So let's get down to some of the details on this. What are the dates of the CF Summit this year?
It's November 17th to 19th.
November 17th to 19th, just before Thanksgiving in the United States.
Yes, that's the only slot that we could figure it out inside. So I'm sorry if some of them couldn't make it, but hey, the recordings are always available.
I think it's quite before Thanksgiving. Is that the week before, or
it's the week before?
It's the week before Thanksgiving. Oh, that's usually okay. People usually don't travel till the end of the week, and so this is Tuesday the 17th. What were the dates again? The 17th?
17th to 19th.
Okay, so it's 3 days this year?
Technically, it's 2 days, but since there are three different time zones that we are trying to cover, so it becomes 3 days.
Got it.
Don't be surprised to see each time zone having only two events per 2 days.
Got it. So anyway, that's the Tuesday through Thursday of the week before. Most people don't travel. The earliest someone I've ever heard traveling is typically the weekend before Thanksgiving. Often people don't even travel until the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And this year, who knows how many people are even traveling, you know? I don't think so many people will be traveling.
Keeping our fingers crossed so that the people are able to travel and be with their families.
Yeah, I hope they are, but you know, travel's a bit disrupted. We have a presidential and congressional election going on. There may be excitement from that. I hope not, but you know, got to allow for that possibility. So Thanksgiving will be a nice break from all that.
Hopefully,
whatever chaos.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, fortunately, you don't have those kind of problems in India. I know. So.
We are one set of problems, so
I know. I've been there. I love India, and it's a special country.
We would have loved to have you back for the Summit India version, but hopefully, I don't think so. That is also happening this year. Maybe
is that?
2021.
I was going to ask that. Is the CF Summit India going to happen this year? But that was in December last year, so it wouldn't really make sense.
So we were planning on having it in December, but because of the pandemic, we were not able to. Our offices are not open at that time.
Your offices aren't open at all?
No.
You haven't even been into the office?
No, actually. So the last day where we were in office was in sometime in March.
Oh my goodness! So
March 3rd, second week or third week.
Because the whole team would be together in the office there, and you know.
So this is a challenging time for us as well, as this is the first time we are making a release where everyone is working from home.
Wow. How's that going?
Oh, the team has rallied really well, and they were actually able to take some late requests for features as well, and the engineering team has done an amazing job.
Wow. Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad they're able to focus at home, because sometimes it's, you know, if you're not used to working at home. I mean, I've been working from home for more than 10 years, so I kind of got used to it. But I think a lot of people are new to it this year, and you know, initially it can be quite a change, or you have to find, you know, a location to do it in that's not disturbed by you know, family or roommates or whatever your situation is. So,
but what is really surprising is I see the engineering team in action. I see mails, you know, flying out at 11:30, 12 in the night. Even I see some mails coming at 2 in the night. And I'm wondering, like, when do these guys sleep at all? I know they are in their last stretch of cycle of their engineering, this thing.
Do they do sprint cycles in the engineering team?
Yes.
Or how long are their sprints? Do you know?
If I remember correctly, it's around 3 weeks, but I'm not so sure.
So they do a 3-week sprint cycle, make some new features, test them, and then demo them, you know, to make sure they're working okay.
Yes.
Very cool. How modern of the engineering team. So anything else new this year for CF Summit?
It's just that you get to see a lot more people than you normally would. And for the speakers, it will be interesting, you know, taking the session from their home. And you'll get to see a lot of sponsors as well. And typically, you know, you end up talking to 1 or 2 sponsors alone. Here, you'll get a chance and time to talk to almost all the sponsors. One thing I really miss will be the parties.
No
But
parties?
we had no party. Sorry about that.
I thought you were going to ship, party supplies to every of the 5,000 attendees worldwide, send them a pizza and some beers or something, and we can all have a party.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, no.
Oh, well. Yes, I understand.
Probably
but maybe
next year.
will there be any attendee get-togethers or other, online things where people can see their friends from CF Summit?
Actually, no, but we are planning on seeing if we could add that feature in the community portal so that people could drop by and have a chat or something like that. But that would be only after the release.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I noticed the date is later this year. It's in November instead of the usual October timeframe. Why is that?
We had to push back on a certain things because of some other priorities. And if you look at it, we did our developer week, which was supposed to be CF Summit East, from May starting to end of May, and there are other activities which we had planned for, which took us some time, and November was the only time frame available. And Max is going to be this month in October.
Yeah, I'll put the link to Max. I mean, I've been to Max a few times. That's where a lot of other Adobe products that many ColdFusion developers use are covered.
Max is free this year as well.
That's what I was going to say. Max is free. So if you're used to paying $1,700 for Max and all the travel and hotel, now you can check it out for free, learn what's going on, with all the graphic design and other products that Adobe has for PDFs and workflow. And there must be 50 other products Adobe has.
Yes.
So
more than that.
Pretty sure there's something in there to interest every CFO. So I'll put the link to Max in there as well. Are you going to be going to Max or?
I always check out all the sessions, most of the sessions in Max, as well as the Summit, Adobe Summit, the marketing one, not the ColdFusion Summit.
I know last year you and Alicia went to some other programming conferences.
Yes, we went to Developer Week, and we were there this year as well. We were there in February, attending that event.
All right. Are you going to any other online programmer events this year, or?
No, nothing after that, because after that the pandemic struck, and we had to step back on a lot of other events which we are planning on doing.
Yeah.
Probably next year. Let's see.
Maybe next year, because it's a good way to go out and talk to people who are interested in ColdFusion, but maybe haven't used it for 10 years and have no idea how much better it is than it was in 10 years ago. So why should all CFers go to CF Summit?
We have done a lot of changes. To give credit to the engineering team, we have done a lot of changes in the product for this release, which we were not able, which we actually thought initially when we started, scoping out CF20, the next release of ColdFusion, we never thought we'll be able to accomplish this much. So you will see all of that in action at CF Summit. Whether you want to go on the cloud, or whether you want to do a CI/CD pipeline, or you want to automate your installation, or if you want to do a multi-cloud thing, you will see all of that in action at CF Summit 2021. 2020,
right.
Sorry.
2020, slip of the tongue there. And also a chance to, talk with some of the ColdFusion speakers, the Adobe staff, other ColdFusion developers through the platform.
And this is one time where you will be able to get in touch with almost all the community leaders. And yes, we are having 2 panel discussions. And if you have any questions or any thoughts, any suggestions, feel free to drop by the panel discussions as well.
Excellent. So, and also contribute to the future of ColdFusion, the next version, ColdFusion 2022.
Yes.
So definitely worth doing that. All right. So, any other things we should talk about CF Summit that we forgot to mention?
Did I mention about the raffles that we usually do for each session? So
you did. You said there's lots of cool software from Adobe and other sponsors.
So looking forward to seeing all of you guys at CF Summit.
Excellent. So I have one more question for you. I don't know if you're allowed to answer this, but everyone is asking, when is ColdFusion 2020 going to be released?
In 2020.
In 2020. In 2020. Okay. Well, that is definitely good information. I ran a survey in one of the online ColdFusion groups, and that is one of the possibilities.
It's definitely going to be in 2020. That's all I could say.
Okay.
It's not that long, right?
That's good, because
you could easily figure it out. Yeah.
There's only we're still in September as we're recording this, so there's only 3 months.
3 more
left,
months.
so it's got to be either October, November, or December.
Maybe you could run a survey about that.
It would be good to see it. Yeah. Well, I did. I ran a survey, and we got all kinds of replies as to when it might be out. So, and I will be, I will tell you, some people did think it would be 2021. So it is good news, because, given the pandemic and also given the enormous engineering challenge of all the new moving to the cloud and, making the install customizable and all the other cool features, there was a lot of engineering challenges.
That was not the issue. I think the whole issue was, most of them were working from home the first time, and some of them were stuck in places where they couldn't, be productive as they would like to be. We went into a full-on lockdown immediately. So that's
India was very efficient. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little too efficient in this particular case.
Exactly.
So, well, cool. If I'll put a link to the CF Summit in the show notes. If people want to find you online, what's the best way to reach out to you?
They could reach out to me either via Facebook, Twitter, or my mail ID. My mail ID is kishore@adobe.com. Feel free to drop in a mail.
All right. Well, we'll put all those things in the show notes. Mm-hmm. So I look forward to seeing you in November at CF Summit online. Yes. And thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Michaela. Always a pleasure.
Get detailed show notes on today's episode in your free CF Alive Modern ColdFusion Guide at teratech.com. That is teratech.com. Viva la CF Alive Revolution!